Next, we are excited to have Mr. Cyril Dredd, founder of ADDLESS Design Studio, to share with us on sustainable packaging, how to go greener. Let's give another round of applause to welcome Mr. Dredd.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cyril Dredd, and I'm the founder and creative director of ADDLESS. It's great to be here with you today. We don't have much time, but I try to be as fast as possible to introduce many insights towards sustainable packaging, design, and material. So, just in quick, a mission and vision. So, ADDLESS is a green design studio, meaning that we are a humanity plus company. We try to add something positive to the world and removing all the unnecessary. So we add nature and less plastic. We never work with plastic. We add design for less packaging in order to really add innovative, cost-effective, and sustainable solutions to our clients. So we work towards what we call the circular packaging design, where we put the manufacturer and the consumer at the center of everything we choose and we design. So for example, we work mainly with materials that are biodegradable or compostable, recyclable mainly with paper, and reusable, and sometimes some pack that can be recovered and cleaned, such as glass. We have 3 pillars in our company. So as a design studio, we try not to just do the design, but we try actually to source and partner with some of the most innovative material companies and startups. So in order to provide structural design, branding, and even pre-production and production samples to our clients, that everything that we're going to design, there is the right material and there is the right process to be manufactured. So you're all here with some product in mind. You all have some product to package. And the greatest debate is, what is the best strategy? Is it for my pack to be recyclable? Is it biodegradable or compostable? But right now in Europe, there's a huge trend for companies to decide they're going to use post-recycled plastic into their pack. So instead of using 100% virgin plastic, they would use 30% and everybody feels great. Well, we differ in that strategy, because if you look the recycling rate of plastic in 2020, if you look in US, only 9% of packaging are recycled. 30% of plastic packaging in Europe are recycled, and in China, 25%. So these are the major countries that consume plastic packaging. And in France, for example, only 25% are recycled, 40% go to incineration, and 35% goes to landfill. So actually, is it really the right strategy to say, I'm sustainable, I use recycled plastic, and its plastic are fully recyclable? Yes, it's fully recyclable, but they are not recycled. So we try to work mainly with paper, because paper can be recycled up till 7 times, where plastic, after one time it's been reused, it's not recyclable anymore. The polymer is so fine that it becomes a macroplastic, and then God knows where you end up. So we try to work with different material. Paper is one, but more importantly, we try to work with material that really end up as a circular economy into the environment. So these materials, I'm sure some of them you can recognize, like PLA. So PLA is a polylactic acid. It's made from corn. It's been there for 30 years. At that time, it was the best thing on earth. It was like fully compostable, biodegradable. But actually, when you look closely to the polymer, it's very similar to plastic. And what we realize is that PLA, some bags, when it's thrown, for example, to seawater, after 30 years, it's exactly the same shape. So some of this material, even though they're biodegradable, compostable, and not from fossil fuel, they will still be there for hundreds of years. So what we try to work with and what we guide our clients is to work mainly with material that can biodegrade in every type of our environment very fast. So we work mainly with cellulose acetate, macrofibrillated cellulose, PHA, PHB. PHA is actually the future of plastic and packaging. It's mainly made of canola oil, which is a flour, so there's no feedstock issues such as corn, and it biodegrades in any environment extremely fast. And to truly understand, what we look at is how each material for packaging are going to end their life, how they're going to biodegrade. So if you look at the column on the left, these are conditions that are in water and without any oxygen. And on the right, it's with oxygen, with bacteria and fungus, so mushrooms. The material that we're looking at and what we recommend to really biodegrade properly into the earth are the bottom left, because they don't need any oxygen, they don't need any fungus, bacteria are always there, and this material biodegrade fast below 35 degrees in terms of temperature. PLA also will biodegrade, but you see it would need to have at least 50 to 60 degrees Celsius, and also a high level of humidity to start to breaking down. So here's some quick, I would say, case study that is probably feasible for your industry. So we've seen the poly bags in the fashion and textile industry being used over and over, and this is a single-use plastic. As soon as you open it, it goes to the bin, and this is not recyclable. You know, plastic film are actually difficult to be recycled. So what we've seen are alternatives made out of paper, semi-transparent, that do provide transparency a little bit, enough to scan a barcode, but more importantly, to really seal the garment, the shirt, against all the outside environment, such as the dust or the humidity and so on. So it's not perfect, but there are already some solutions existing. We've seen also some company in Europe that also make some film, very close to plastic, but 100% made from wood. So the chemical process is slightly different, but here, when you touch it, when you feel it, it's actually unbelievable to believe that this is wood. And this also would be, in our opinion, a great alternative to poly bags and potentially to many garments in the fashion industry. Also, we're talking earlier about cellulose. So cellulose is made from wood pulp, as you can see. Acetate cellulose is a very old process. It's been there for decades, but it hasn't really been used in the packaging industry. This is actually fully transparent film. It could be very thin, up till 14 micron. So this is extremely thin, but also very thick. But the benefit is it's made from wood. It's fully certified plastic-free. It's certified home compostable. And more importantly, when it's glued to paper, it's recycled in a paper stream without jamming the filters at the recycling facility. So we see also this type of film potentially being a great use for the textile industry for different type of packaging applications. And then finally, we've seen earlier a lot of bio-based material. We've seen a lot of bags made all across the world with this type of starch made from sugarcane mixed with other type of additive, but fully certified home compostable. And these are great alternatives because they're not fossil-based. They are certified, so they will biodegrade in any type of environment and even in landfill. A few case studies from our design studio, just for you to understand how is our approach in terms of design and what is the outcome. So one of our clients is T2. It's a tea company, part of Unilever Group. They're located in Australia. And T2 has always some amazing tea flavors, very outstanding. And they came to us with a very basic box, and they wanted us to redesign the outside board of the lemon sorbet, which is kind of a candy flavor. And inside, they have a poly bag made out of polypropylene, so not recyclable. And so we took, in our mind, the lemon candy was the type of packaging with a wrap were twisted on each side. And so we did a box all in paper with the feeling of a candy. But then when you open inside, actually the tea leaves are not wrapped in plastic film, but they wrapped in microfibrillated cellulose, which is a film made from wood. And it's fully compostable in home. It's fully recyclable in a paper stream if it's thrown there. But more importantly, the end of life of this material will not damage the environment. Another brand we've been working with is Apparel. We've been helping this company in South America with their brand identity, but also with their packaging design. So Apparel really wanted, as a new brand, to have a packaging that is really showing that they are caring for the environment and almost becoming a statement. So we work on the brand identity, but more importantly, we work on the packaging design. So the box could be used for e-commerce or for stores, and as soon as the box opened, the t-shirt or any garment would be rolled, and at the end, the consumer has two choices. So number one, the box is made completely with no glue, with no solvent. It's water-based print, FSC paper, and the consumer has the choice to put in a recycling bin, and then it would be recycled as paper up till 7 times, or with a few clever foldings, transform the box as a coat hanger, and then suddenly, the brand of Apparel is in your closet, always there with you. So in terms of marketing, it's also, a great alternative. And then following what we did for Apparel in Chile, we had the group Eucerin, which is part of Beiersdorf, Nivea Group, that also asked us to completely rethink and redesign the gift boxes. So originally, the gift boxes are made in Asia, already assembled in Asia, and then shipped back to South America. So they're really shipping air, and all the box is full of plastic. So the paper is laminated with polypropylene. The inserts are made out of EVA, which is extremely toxic. And they had also a window at the front in order for the consumer to see the product on the inside when it's on the shelf. So the first thing we did is we made the box completely flat pack. So from the moment it's manufactured till it arrives to the point of sale, it saves a lot of space. And then with a few pieces of 3M, you can actually assemble the box very fast. The insert is made of paper, so it's what we call a microflute, extremely rigid but light. Then the product goes inside, and then here you have the front of the box that locks. So the front of the box is not made out of plastic film, it's actually made out of acetate cellulose. And we saw earlier acetate cellulose can be fully recyclable with paper when it's glued together. It can be also home compostable and certified plastic-free. Typically also on gift boxes, the flaps in most cases have some magnets inside to ease the closure. We didn't want to do that because as soon as you have a piece of metal inside, you cannot recycle the paper. So instead, we did the male and female, and then the box closed extremely well and the panel actually cannot open. And then finally, the last case study is not so much related to your industry, the textile industry. It's more to show how we think about and what is our approach to packaging design. So about 6 years ago, we looked at the paper cup. It's been on the news all across the world. We consume 300 billion paper cups per year and 200 billion plastic lids. So the lids are made out of polystyrene and polypropylene, and they end all in the landfill, all of them. And the paper actually is not so much paper. It has also a very thick plastic liner. So as a designer and as creative, we tried to completely revamp this cup. And instead, we made a paper cup that actually has an integrated lid, a flap at the back in order to put it into traditional machines, see the level of the content. but more importantly, something that can fold very easily, that can lock well, that is sealed, and with a spout for the drinking experience. So why am I showing you this? Well, we've been told as creative that we always need to think outside the box to innovate. But now, in these days, we need to really think, actually, do I need a box? We think you don't need a box anymore. So we're trying to eliminate as much as possible packaging, and I think the future's packaging should be not thinking outside the box, we should think we don't need a box. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Drouet, for bringing us such a fascinating keynote.